This video is not for people who think I'm in a cult. And the funny part is, I'm not in a cult. I don't worship people. I'm not a respecter of persons, but what I am a respecter of is the long game. And I do not get wishy-washy or tossed and turned by events, even when they come straight from the people that are supposedly our leaders. If the Patriots take over the House and the Senate, then they can look at all of the records from January 6th. They can look on all the videos from January 6th that have not been released. Hopefully that will happen. And so in a way, to appear fractured, to appear weak, would be a good strategy. Hey everybody, so the midterms 2022 are over. Not every race has been finalized, but I just wanted to jump on here real quick in case you're living under a rock and didn't see that the Trump or MAGA movement is splintering into 3 distinct pieces. It all started when at Trump's rally in Florida, he mentioned Governor Ron DeSantis and he called him Ron DeSanctimonious. I basically told my audience that I wasn't sure why Trump was taking a dig at Ron DeSantis since he's been such a great governor and they're friends. But I thought maybe he was just trying to make a joke, like, but DeSantis is so great, he's like Joan of Arc. And I was thinking maybe he should have said like Ron DeSanctified. But it seems that there is some kind of trouble between these two. Now, I don't know what to make of it, but I'm certainly not going to make a pronouncement on it at this point. I mean, we haven't come this far to see the corruption exposed in our nation and our world to fall on the sword of some kind of vague beef going on between DeSantis and Trump. Now, I heard that DeSantis might actually run. This is just the opinion of people. Kash Patel said he thinks absolutely Ron DeSantis will run for president in 2024. That means that DeSantis would abandon his post as governor of Florida. Personally, I don't think that he will do that. But Trump had a problem with the fact that DeSantis didn't definitively say he wasn't going to run. He just said, I'm focused on my governor's race right now. And so Trump went off this morning and made like 4 or 5 truths, writing as much as he could and going off about how he helped DeSantis win the governorship in the first place in 2018. And so, of course, the truths that Trump put out this morning were distasteful. Everybody's like, oh, the people who think he's all about ego are like, see? And then the people who, didn't think he was just purely ego and felt that they understood him are like, oh my God, how dare he? Or I'm going to vote for DeSantis now. He's a has-been and this and that. It's like, I'm not going to make any statements, basically, because all I can say is this man, he has been through a trial by fire. He has been attacked, he's been tested and pretty much assassinated, figuratively by the establishment now more than anyone. And I am not willing to make a pronouncement right now. Sun Tzu, The Art of War, says that you should appear weak. We are on the verge of taking the House and the Senate, hopefully. We as in the Patriots. And so in a way, that's the most panic-inducing thing that the deep state could feel, is that they are going to be exposed. If the Patriots take over the House and the Senate, then they can look at all of the records from January 6th. They can look on all the videos from January 6th that have not been released. Hopefully that will happen. And so in a way, to appear fractured, to appear weak, would be a good strategy. This video is not for people who think I'm in a cult. And the funny part is, I'm not in a cult. I don't worship people. I'm not a respecter of persons, but what I am a respecter of is the long game. And I do not get wishy-washy or tossed and turned by events, even when they come straight from the people that are supposedly our leaders. I just don't. And so I'm going to reserve judgment. And another thing is that now apparently Candace Owens is having a beef with Trump. Here's the thing though. She went on her podcast and said that apparently the Daily Beast came out with an article saying that she had been talking about Trump's stance on vaccines, and she had been saying that he was an old man who didn't understand the internet, essentially. Now, I'm taking this from her words on the podcast. I did not read the Daily Beast article. So Candace got wind from mutual friends who were on the golf course with Trump that he had said something salty, maybe more than salty, expressing his displeasure that she had been quoted in the Daily Beast. And she said, why didn't he come to me instead of saying this to people? Well, this is what I wanted to say. If there weren't any reporters there in the golf course, then she's the one who's revealing this about Trump. Why wouldn't she go to him? Why wouldn't she go to him and try and patch this up or clarify? Instead, she puts this on blast to all of her followers. I've seen her do this before with Kimberly Klacik, who had that viral video before she ran for Congress in 2020 in Baltimore. She ended up not winning, but somehow she and Candace Owens got into a big beef, and Candace Owens exposed the fact that Kimberly Klacik had been a stripper at one time. This fractured everyone. So basically we have a lot of egos, and I'm just sitting here waiting to see who is playing the long game. Like me. That's what we do. I'm not a respecter of persons, but I am a respecter of the process, and I remember who the enemy is. The enemy is the elite, the establishment, and the media that lies to you. They talk about how capitalism is the enemy, the corporations are the enemy. Yes, the corporations are the enemy, I say, but they don't care about capitalism. They don't care about us. They don't care about the voters. They get away with whatever they can, especially the lie that all of the carbon emissions are coming from us, we the people. The carbon emissions are coming from corporate America. Do we talk about the planes? Do we talk about the processes? No, we only talk about cars. So let's stay focused on what is really at stake here. Reserve judgment for these silly beefs. And I want to say, remember this one thing. Remember when Donald Trump fired James Comey in May of 2017, and everybody was saying it was the wrong move? Looking back on it, we saw how James Comey was the snake in the grass. He was spying on the president, the new president, and he had absolutely no good intentions. So if he didn't fire him then, it would have been a real problem. All I'm saying is, we haven't been tested through the fire like Trump has. And he went through 2 impeachments. And I don't know of anyone who has withstood this kind of an onslaught into their personal life and the kind of lies and attempted coups that have happened to him. Am I happy with everything that he's done? No. But I'm going to reserve judgment. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon.